Hello and very warm welcome to Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. Following are the news headlines which have been reported by American, European, Asian, Canadian, African, and Australian news channels and AFP, AP, Reuters news agencies. So now please let's watch the news headlines.
Tonight, the breaking news of the killing of Charlie Kirk, the suspect, under arrest. The new images tonight, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson now behind bars. We got him. The suspect expected to face state charges for allegedly shooting and killing Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk during his event at Utah Valley University. Tonight, the suspect's family playing a role in his arrest, according to authorities. They say his father recognizing his son from photos released by the FBI. And tonight here, authorities laying out the new timeline. When that suspect allegedly arrived on campus changing clothes, and how they say this unfolded. TMZ obtaining video before the shooting showing a man matching his description, appearing to walk with a limp. Law enforcement officials believe he was walking that way to hide that high-powered rifle. And the FBI revealing dramatic video tonight saying it shows the suspect moments after the shooting, jumping from a rooftop to make his escape. And tonight, what they say they found written on the bullets. And this evening here, the remarkable moment, the stark warning from the Republican governor of Utah for all Americans, calling social media a cancer, asking Americans to log off, touch grass, hug a family member, do good in your community, denouncing the violence against Republicans and Democrats. Our team standing by with new reporting right here tonight. Also on this Friday night, the alarming images playing out across the U.S., police responding to fake threats on American campuses, calls meant to scare, and now the false threat leading to a real shooting at the U.S. Naval Academy in Maryland. Tonight, ICE operation in Chicago, an officer injured, dragged by a car trying to flee a traffic stop. The officer shooting and killing the driver. Tonight, President Trump suggesting Russian drones over Poland's airspace might have been a mistake by Russia. Tonight, Poland saying it was no mistake and NATO scrambling to beef up security. Mark Loretta standing by and what's now being done. Back in the U.S. tonight, scary moments for a JetBlue flight preparing for takeoff for Boston. The plane's wings smashing through the windows of the airport right into a restaurant. And tonight, you have to see this. The toddler now seen by millions. So many teams joining in, even the Super Bowl champs, because of what this little boy does every day. Who is our person of the week? From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Daily.
Good morning. Is time running out now for the Prime Minister?
Angela Rayner out, Lord Manderson sacked, and now Mayor of Manchester Andy Burnham launched a new campaign, a group to lay the groundwork for a leadership bid.
With heavy criticism expected at Labour's annual party conference this month, can Sir Keir Starmer recover or even regain control? Or is he already past the point of no return?
And crowds gathered in London last night for a vigil for Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was shot in Utah, as people hail him a Christian martyr. Meanwhile, his widowed wife Erica makes her first statement promising to continue with his work.
My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children.
Elsewhere, Prince Harry offers advice on opening up to your family during his surprise visit to Ukraine. And that, of course, came just days after his meeting with his father, King Charles.
And ahead of London Fashion Week next week, one designer has banned Nepo babies from his show after accusing them of only being interested in fame for fame's sake. So this morning we're asking, is it ever okay to use family connections for career gains?
Britain will host the first inclusive paddle tour as Britain's #1 wheelchair paddle player, Kristen Paskins, champions accessibility in the sport. And we're going to be meeting her a bit later on.
A very good morning. It's an early return to North London for Ange Postecoglou as the newly appointed Nottingham Forest boss takes his side to the Emirates to face Arsenal. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Eddie Howe reveals how his relationship with Alexander Isak at Newcastle reached a point of no return. More later.
Plenty of showers around today, but it's through tomorrow when we have some heavy rain and some very strong winds. I'll have the details coming up.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. Sorry, it's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm just checking my mic. Good morning, Lisa.
And I'm Anne Diamond. Yes, we can hear you. And this is GB News Breakfast.
But as we await that, CB Cotton's working her story, her sources on the ground there on this story as well. She is also live on the campus there, Orem, Utah. And CB, what do you have for us? Hello there.
Hey, Bill, good morning. So, as we just heard from colleague David Spunt, the suspect has now been identified as Tyler Robinson, and we are hoping to learn more about who this person is at this news conference. But we heard this morning President Trump seem to suggest that a person close to Tyler turned him in. What I'm hearing from one federal source, I just got a note from, is that this suspect's father turned him in last night in southern Utah. And all of these moving parts come as the FBI made a huge push yesterday for more information, asking the public, come forward if you recognize this person. And after that big push from the FBI, it seemed like things were moving here on the ground. We had a news conference that got pushed back several times yesterday. We also heard the president explain again how the timeline of this. He said a minister here in Utah who was friends with a U.S. Marshal got involved, and at that point, the father was contacted. And again, I'm hearing from a federal source that it was Tyler Robinson's father who turned in his son. We saw that new video yesterday, chilling, showing the gunman moving quickly across the roof and then dropping one story down before running through the parking lot. And we also learned from the FBI that the shooter then discarded the gun in a wooded area. We also got those newly released surveillance pictures of the shooter, giving us an up-close look at the shooter's face and the clothing he was wearing. And now the major development today is waiting to hear more and learn more about who Tyler Robinson is, what's his background, and what was the planning that he presumably did to take that fatal shot towards Charlie Kirk, who was speaking to a crowd of about 3,000 supporters here on this campus. Bill, I want to send it back over to you.
Thank you, CB. Stand by for more from you and others there in Utah. CB Cotton.
It's the end of a long, emotional, infuriating week, and it brings with it the end of the manhunt for Charlie Kirk's suspected assassin. After 11,000 leads and tips given to the FBI, the suspect now in custody. He's been identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah native who was turned in late last night by his father. It was President Trump who first broke the news that the authorities had their guy.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody. Okay? In custody, everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor, everybody did a great job.
A short time later, we knew for sure.
We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Who is Tyler Robinson? He is currently a third-year student in the electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College. Before that, he attended Utah State University for one semester back in 2021, where he was a pre-engineering major. He was living with his family in Utah, no criminal history, no party affiliation. None of this gives us any clues as to what would drive this person to commit this heinous act of violence.
On this Friday night, Charlie, alleged assassin, under arrest.
We got him.
How U.S. authorities caught the 22-year-old suspect accused of murdering the prominent right-wing activist, what the evidence suggests about a possible motive. More sick Canadians allegedly targeted by India. They're pleased for support as the Prime Minister resets relations with Delhi.
Sort of feels like we don't matter.
Plus, reaction to the NHL's decision to welcome back 5 hockey players acquitted of sexual assault. And a family loses their home to Nova Scotia's wildfires.
I just completely broke down. I couldn't even talk.
Right before gaining something far more valuable.
Global National with Donna Friesen. Reporting tonight, Jeff Semple.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. After a 30-hour manhunt, the FBI has arrested their suspect, the man accused of murdering American right-wing political activist Charlie Kirk. Investigators also provided details about his capture and possible motive. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson of Utah was taken into custody last night. He's expected to be charged with aggravated murder and weapons offenses. Police said his friends and family told them that Robinson Robinson had recently become more political and had expressed his anger about Kirk and his beliefs.
On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Kirk was shot dead on Wednesday while speaking about gun violence at Utah Valley University. Jackson Prosco explains how police zeroed in on the suspect and the pleas for calm in the wake of his arrest.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
The arrest was announced by Utah's governor. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was taken into custody at his southern Utah home. The tip came from his own family after he allegedly indicated to them that he had shot Charlie Kirk. The suspect's family described him as becoming more political in recent years.
Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU.
The Family Next Door. Stream it all on ABC iView.
Today, police separate opposing protests in Melbourne as 4 different groups hold rallies across the country. The widow of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk gives her first public statement after his suspected assassin is taken into custody.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea.
Nepal gets its first female interim Prime Minister after a week of deadly political chaos. And Florian in full bloom. The month-long flower festival kicks off, flooding the nation's capital with a kaleidoscope of colour. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Ruby Cornish. Multiple opposing protest groups have converged on Australia's capital cities and regional centres today, rallying on a variety of issues, including immigration, racism and Palestine. In Melbourne, police have separated opposing protests near Parliament House, creating a cordon line to keep demonstrators apart. Reporter Amelia Turzon is there and joins us now. Amelia, I know it's been going for a few hours now. How are things looking at the moment?
So we've just had a scuffle just over my shoulder here. We had people appear to throw some punches towards each other, and we actually appear to have seen capsicum spray being deployed. I was just speaking to a man sitting down there who said that he wasn't involved in any of these protests. He was here today visiting friends, and he caught it on the back of his body. He was obviously quite shaken up, but as you can see, currently there's nothing majorly tense happening around me. This follows protests that have been snaking their way through the city for hours now. The Indigenous sovereignty protest, which started off on Flinders Street just down there, it snaked its way all through the city. It made its way, as you noted, up towards Parliament House within what would look like around 50 metres of an opposing protest, the Australia Solidarity protests. Currently, we've
Hello and good morning. It is 6 a.m. and on today's programme we're talking about the widow of Charlie Kirk, who has tearfully spoken of her husband's murder. And in the sports, the Premier League is back after the international break, with Ange Postecoglou preparing for his first game as Nottingham Forest head coach at Arsenal. It is Saturday, the 13th of September. The widow of far-right activist Charlie Kirk talks of her husband's mission and speaks directly to his killer.
You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea.
Here, police are investigating claims the rape of a woman in the West Midlands was racially motivated. Forced out the US immigration raids causing people to leave the country that they call home.
We've been thinking about moving back to Mexico soon, and we're just gonna leave everything behind.
Under permanent repair, why some roadworks are the price we have to pay for new technology. And it was a record-breaking night for England's cricketers as they thrashed South Africa in the second T20 International. Good morning. thank you for joining us on The Breakfast Show. The widow of the US right-wing activist Charlie Kirk has spoken for the first time since his death, vowing to keep her husband's work alive. Erica Kirk addressed her husband's killer directly, telling him he had no idea of the fire he had ignited. The man accused of Kirk's murder, 22.
Headline news this hour. A powerful earthquake has struck off the coast of Russia's Far East. The U.S. Geological Survey says the 7.4 magnitude quake hit this morning about 100 kilometers off the coast near Kamchatka region. There were no immediate reports of injuries or major damage. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center initially raised the alert for possible hazardous waves along nearby Russian coastlines, but has since lifted a tsunami threat. Kamchatka lies in one of the most seismically active areas in the world. Authorities are monitoring for any aftershocks. Nepal's former Chief Justice Sushila Karki sworn in as the country's first female prime minister. She will lead a 6-month transition government following deadly anti-corruption protests. Parliament has been dissolved and general elections will take place on the 5th of March next year. Ms. Karki will name her cabinet in the coming days. And the man suspected of killing American conservative activist Charlie Kirk is now in custody, ending a frantic nationwide manhunt. He's been identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. U.S. President Donald Trump says he wants the death penalty for the gunman. And that's the latest from the CNA Newsroom.
This is Asia Now. This university is innovating education.
The news one speaks about education not just within the classroom, but outside the classroom.
This is Asia Now.
It's 12 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 9:30 New Delhi, and 11 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Rani Samtani at this hour. A tsunami warning issued after a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck off Russia's Far East. Nepal's former Chief Justice Sushila Karki sworn in as the country's first female prime minister. She will lead a 6-month transition to elections after deadly anti-corruption protests. And the man suspected of killing American conservative activist Charlie Kirk is now in custody, ending a frantic nationwide manhunt.
Africa News. The news.
Here in rural Malawi, farmers are turning to unconventional methods to help them boost their yields and adapt to climate change. It's an AI chatbot, which has been designed by the NGO Opportunity International. Some 180,000 rural households are using the chatbot. When we joined the AI group, we rented farming fields and cultivated various crops, including maize. We have been harvesting enough. Even though there have been challenges, we have registered success because we have been selling the maize. I also got some money and invested in the production of tomatoes, which gives me hope for success. We are thankful to AI for their reliable counsel, because we have benefited. We have also gained a lot. The creators of the chatbot say it was designed for use by anyone, regardless of whether they're able to read or write.
The good thing with this chatbot, it provides response when you ask it by text. You can also ask it using voice, so it will return a response using voice note. So this helps for people that are not able to read and write, but it is also able to receive a question through pictures.
Residents are still grappling with the aftermath of Cyclone Freddy in 2023. Cyclone Freddy left us literally without food. We did not harvest anything because all of our fields were washed away. We don't have anything to hold on to. With farmers struggling with the impact of the cyclone as well as with drought, the government has agreed to back the AI chatbots.
It's a blow for Kenya's anti-doping agency. The agency has found to be non-compliant with the World Anti-Doping Agency Code, and there will be repercussions next month if the East African nation fails to address deficiencies. It comes after Kenya did not address requirements after an audit in May 2024. The agency risks losing all WADA privileges, including financial backing and participation in agency programs. Kenyan representatives, meanwhile, could be banned from holding posts on WADA boards or committees. The country may also become ineligible to host WADA-sanctioned events at regional, continental, or world level. WADA has vowed to work with non-compliant organisations to tackle non-conformities.
This is DW News, and these are our top stories. Authorities in the US say they've arrested the man accused of killing right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk. They say one of his own family members helped turn him into police. Kirk was shot and killed while speaking at a university campus in Utah on Wednesday. The suspect is said to have expressed his dislike of Charlie Kirk's views to family members. Russia and Belarus are holding major joint military exercises involving thousands of troops and the testing of nuclear-capable missiles. They come just days after a Russian drone incursion into Polish territory, which has already stoked heightened NATO concerns about the threat from Russia. NATO countries in the region held their own counter-exercises in Lithuania, while Poland closed its border with Belarus completely. The Fitch Ratings Agency has downgraded France's credit rating, citing political instability and rising debts. France's government collapsed earlier this week, with lawmakers unwilling to support plans to slash billions from the national budget. Economists say the cuts are necessary to bring down France's ballooning budget deficit. This is DW News from Berlin. There's more news on our website, dw.com.
Good evening, I'm Amna Nawaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett. On the News Hour tonight, a 22-year-old is arrested and charged with the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, as law enforcement officials piece together evidence of a possible motive.
Tensions rise in Europe after Russia's drone incursion into Poland, prompting France and others to dispatch fighter jets and the EU to extend sanctions.
And the son of an imprisoned Hong Kong newspaper editor describes the Chinese government's crackdown on speech.
He stayed and defend his principles and defend his colleagues, and I'm so proud to call this man my father, and so proud to be able to fight for his freedom.
Tonight, the shooting, the search, and now the suspect in custody. Our first look at the 22-year-old arrested after a multi-day manhunt. His father helping to turn him in. Plus the new surveillance video showing the accused assassin fleeing from the roof where he fired his fatal shot. What the suspect's family told authorities he said about Charlie Kirk. Also tonight, the powerful words from the governor of Utah, calling this a make-or-break moment in American history, pleading for people to tone down their rhetoric and listen to one another.
This is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp?
Plus, the deadly confrontation near Chicago between an ICE officer and a man DHS says is here illegally. They say the suspect dragged an officer with his car who then shot him. Now, new immigration raids expected there. And what city President Trump says he plans to send troops to next? COVID vaccines and kids. The Trump administration reportedly planning to link COVID shots to the deaths of 25 children using evidence from an unverified reporting system. Doctors say the vaccine is safe. Their message to parents of young kids tonight. The emergency landing for a United flight. Passengers forced to evacuate down slides. What happened? She's called Ghost Pepper, a curious octopus with an ocean of followers, and why so many feel, despite those 8 arms, she has a real human touch. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Young.
We got him.
A suspect under arrest in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Who he is, how he was caught, and clues to a motive.
Also tonight, how the politically charged killing brought a Democrat and a Republican together. I thought if we spoke as one in denouncing political violence, it would send a better message.
An ICE agent fatally shoots a driver he was trying to arrest in suburban Chicago.
And Steve Hartman, a rented studio leads to a Hollywood ending.
The music's playing. I'm getting ready to walk down the aisle. He grabbed my hand so tight.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS News.
Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson.
The only suspect in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk is in a Utah jail tonight. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson gave himself up last night after his father recognized him in photos released by the FBI.
Robinson, a college dropout, was a registered voter but with no party affiliation. According to Utah's governor, Robinson had become more political recently and had expressed dislike for Kirk.
Tonight he is being held on suspicion of aggravated murder. His first...
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Palestinian officials say Israel's ongoing attacks on Gaza City have left more than 50,000 people displaced and without shelter as Israeli bombs continue to fall on high-rise buildings, flattening the city's skyline. Medical sources say Israeli attacks have killed at least 42 Palestinians so far today, including 14 members of a single family, 3 generations wiped out in a single airstrike. Thousands continue to flee Gaza City after Israel ordered the forced displacement of its 1 million inhabitants. This is Abu Tara Kabu, whose family was forced to trek south along Gaza's coastline on foot.
ما فيش معايا اي شيء انا واولاد العشرة ماشيين في الشارع.
I have nothing. My 10 children and I are walking in the street heading south. We don't know where we're going. We don't have mattresses or blankets. We don't even have money or anything. Maybe death would be better than what we're living through. I have children who slept in the street yesterday.
In the occupied West Bank, Israeli forces rounded up over 1,500 Palestinians in Tulkarem Thursday, ordering a curfew for the city's residents. Footage shared by residents showed Israeli soldiers marching Palestinians, including children, through the streets. Tulkarem's governor urged the UN to take action, saying Israeli forces were, quote, arbitrarily and unjustly, unquote, carrying out mass arrests, destroying property, and, quote, terrorizing children and women.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.